Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode number 42 of Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, and I am joined, as always, but sadly not sitting next to me, by Mr. Kyle Ferguson.
I know, I'm back in the Evergreen State. It's great to be free of the sand, the sunburns.
Is that what it's called, the Evergreen State?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's all pine trees, so there's your trees that lose their leaves, but most part, it's such a beautiful state in Washington. Florida's a bit flat for me, but hey, home of long turn signals and Florida Man, who I met on the beach. He was extremely drunk and gave me multiple high fives.
You met the actual Florida Man.
One of many, I'm sure.
I'm a man, and I'm from Florida.
Yes, but you don't, self-serve yourself into your hand at the McDonald's ice cream machine or all the various other meth-related actions that happen to the Florida populace. Congratulations.
What McDonald's are you going to where you can just walk up and serve yourself ice cream? Because that's not my McDonald's.
Look it up, man. Look it straight into her mouth. Well, that was Florida Woman.
Ah, yes. Those two of my favorite Twitter feeds. And apparently, one of our local breweries, which are one of the best ones, Cigar City, is brewing a limited run of Florida Man beer, and it has the avatar from the Florida Man Twitter account on the label.
Nice. I'm glad.
I need to find this and get it. So, if anyone from Cigar City Brewing is listening, hook me up.
Man, I got back at 9 o'clock last night, which would have been midnight your all's time. I'm just all kinds of screwed up, but I did get to play some Heroes in my bewildered state, and something magical happened because I was just taking everything the second it came. I had no memory, completely lack of sleep, of the second before or the moment after, so I was Muradin and I was just plowing through people. It was awesome. Though at the beginning of the game, I had Asmodan on my team, and he says, something along the lines of, "Let us rain sin upon our enemies." And Muradin goes, "Let's do it." And then the whole rest of the game, I'm kind of like, oh, Muradin, kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that.
No, I don't want Muradin leaping into action, raining sin upon his enemies. But had 3 delightful games, all victories. I've just, built up my karma, I guess, while I was gone. And that was awesome. Played some Nova, had to wait in a really long line because she's free to play this week, and so everyone else is playing her. Played a good Abathur game, felt like a pro. And that their Muradin game.
Nice. Well, that's cool, man. We spent so much time prepping the show today with all the PAX news and whatnot. I completely forgot to add a bullet point for BlizzCon has been announced. So why not discuss it right now? Because, hey, yeah, BlizzCon's happening this year. We kind of knew it was happening, though.
Yeah, there was the one year we missed it. It didn't seem like this year was going to be one of those.
There's been more than one year where they've skipped.
Yeah, but they just have so much coming out.
Yeah, exactly. They have too many games now. There's always going to be something I feel like will be worth talking about at BlizzCon. So I don't know. And with having them saying that Overwatch isn't going into beta until fall, which is the most disappointing thing I've ever heard in my life, I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about.
True, but they did say, quote unquote, it's coming sooner than you think. And for me, the TM soon really covers about 2 years. So that's still sooner than I thought.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. But knowing really, what we know about...
For me, it's all just sitting on Legacy of the Void. If that's not out by BlizzCon, then I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm right there with you. I'd be surprised if it wasn't out by then. I also would be disappointed.
Sure. I mean, Heroes is showing us a lot of how much a community can shape a game. And if this truly is the final expansion for StarCraft until StarCraft 3 or whatever may come, I would understand if they want to have an extremely prolonged alpha and then a beta phase. And that can push us past BlizzCon. But man, I just want to roll around with some new units. I just want the campaign.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I got to play one of the campaign missions at BlizzCon, and it was dope. So much fun. I can't wait. I want more StarCraft, man. I was watching IEM today. Sadly, watched Tasia lose. But some good games.
Since Wings of Liberty came out, I've just wanted to unfold that Stargate like you do with your warp gates. Because, warp gates, sure. But I get it, Blizzard balance, got good stuff. Keep those ground units the only thing that can warp in. But when I can warp in from a pylon or just from freaking space, a carrier instantly, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. You're going to lose your mind with the damn mothership. That's what you're going to lose your mind with your, like, Independence Day style laser blast.
Yeah, world cracker.
That's going to make you real happy. So, I guess first up, before we get into this week's news, and yes, chat room, yes, I'm very excited that BlizzCon has been announced because now I can finally plan my honeymoon.
I'm so happy you're doing that. Following in my proud footsteps of 2 years ago, this year I'm not moving, so I will be at BlizzCon. I'm super excited about that. Won't have to, watch from the sidelines again.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't speak too soon because you do still have to get tickets, which is always fun.
I do have to play that game, yes. But 2 years, under my belt, I think I got the system down.
Yeah. Have you gone twice? I thought you went once.
No, I've been there twice. We did, what was it, 2012 and 2013?
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I apologize. I was wrong.
To be fair, you didn't really see me last year much because they had the voice actor panel where I spent all my time, and it was my honeymoon, so we always left to go to a fancy dinner.
I barely saw you the last BlizzCon, that you attended. The most recent last BlizzCon, I didn't see you because you weren't there. The one before it.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah. You and Ben and Abby were just the lame married couples. We never saw you guys ever, unless we accidentally crossed paths in the hall.
Oh, but this year I'm going to have that leg up living in Pacific time, man. Everyone's going to be pooped, and I'm going to be like, woo, it's midnight. Actually midnight, not 3 a.m.
I'm not going to be pooped, sir, because it's looking like, yeah, as I yawn, it's looking like we're gonna leave Florida right after the wedding, so right after Halloween. So we're gonna be there for a full week, or for full 3 days before BlizzCon starts. So I'll be nice and acclimated to the to the Pacific time. So I'll be good.
Nice.
I'll be ready to do this thing. Before we get into the news, we have other stuff to talk about. You can actually go vote for Into the Nexus right now as your favorite Heroes of the Storm community show. We apparently have been nominated for Blizzard's Stream Awards. The voting is up over on the official Heroes of the Storm forum, and we set up a little tiny URL for you. You can go to tinyurl.com/voteitn, but you still have to click and vote for us. So please don't go there and don't vote for us, because that would just be sad.
Sure, gentleman's agreement. Vote for whoever you want. Vote for RTN.
Yeah, exactly. Vote for whoever you want, but you should probably vote for us. I'm jacked as hell to even be nominated for this thing, and to be up there with so many other delightful shows.
Yeah.
Yep. So very cool. Go check that thing out. I'm glad they're doing this again. They had it. Last year, I think, was the first year they had the Stream Awards.
Right, and before anyone, gets upset out there, it is powered by Twitch. So there's a number of really great people who've been putting together tons of content on YouTube, and they did not make this list. So hold on to your comments.
Well, I mean, YouTube's not really streaming anyway.
Exactly.
There's other stream platforms too, which people are complaining about, but I mean, what you gonna do?
Twitch, XSplit, it's where it's at, modern era.
Yep, and don't forget OBS, sir. That stuff's free and functions very well.
That's true, but not quite as fancy.
No, I prefer XSplit, but I gotta give OBS, a tip of the hat, because gotta love, open source software that actually works.
Yes, Skype.
Oh, geez. Skype. The other thing I wanted to tell you all about is we are giving away some beta keys. Some delightful listeners have donated beta keys to our show, and we're going to be giving them away. We have 3 US keys and 2 EU keys we'll be giving away on our subreddit, so you can go to itncast.reddit.com. There should be a post up there right now, actually. Even you, live folks, I know I am the worst person in the world about go check this out, but if you're watching live, it's not up yet. It's up right now. Go to itncast.reddit.com and just leave a comment. And if you're posting on the Reddit, please let us know if you want the US or the EU codes, since they are region specific, and we need to know that stuff, so we give you the correct key. And I'm assuming, most of our listeners probably already in, but give it to a friend. It's okay if you win it and you give it to a friend. Just don't sell it, because that would make us sad.
Right, and that'd be bizarre because you've got a $40 limit on what you're going to sell it for. It's not really worth the effort. And if you do have those friends, absolutely take it for them. You probably have someone that's like, well, I don't know, in the background, and get them into this, because there really is no better MOBA to kind of cut your teeth with.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks to James, Neil, Joshua, Ashley, and Lee, who all donated keys to the show. We really appreciate it, and we're jacked that we're going to give some of these away. Also, if you're a patron of Into the Nexus, we're going to be giving 3 additional U.S. keys away on our Patreon page. Keep an eye on patreon.com/ITN. Posts will be going up shortly, where you can leave a comment and be entered to win a key. Now, it is time to peel back the layers of this massive world-sized onion that was PAX East. Let's get into it.
Boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Point me to the stage.
Stay a while and listen.
I will be staying a while and listening, Deckard, because, PAX came and went and brought with it many, many, many things to discuss, Kyle.
Tidbits, one could say. Though, if you're looking for new heroes here, there was really only one.
Yeah, that's. It's okay though. It's totally all right, because we also got to we got a better preview of Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yes, the new map.
So this, I was surprised, dude, because I remember seeing pictures of this at BlizzCon and it seemed large. This thing is I don't know. It's like an ant farm, man. It's like you just took a bunch of angry carnivorous people and threw them in a tiny enclosed area. It's a small map.
Yeah, it's leading a lot of people to wonder, so a hammer with graduating range, every lane hit.
Oh, God. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. That's terrifying.
People like Asmodan's just going to own it. Heroes like Brightwing, maybe not quite as powerful here. It is tiny. It is absolutely a arena. And because of the mechanics of the map, it makes a lot of sense. Because if it was really long, all these push mechanics that the whole objective is based around would be rather useless, because they just get stuck pushing in the middle somewhere. Someone like Muradin would run up, slam, thunder, and everything would die.
Yeah, now you got me thinking. I'm thinking of other things that are useless, like false stats, flying. But, I don't know. Brightwing and false stats, it's still good to be able to move that far, that quickly.
Absolutely.
And even Nidus for Zagara. She could literally pop it up probably anywhere on the map without having to get too close to it.
Yeah, you, during our last show, or our last after show, accidentally picked that ultimate, and it ended up being the most fabulous thing on Earth.
It worked out really well.
Hollow.
Yeah, because we needed me all over the place. And you're absolutely right. It was just like, oh, well, okay, I guess we'll make this work. And it totally did. I even aided in one of our
accidental picks on Uther.
Let's not talk about that one time I took Divine Shield. Can we not talk about that?
They both got Divine in it. I understand completely. Both are probably golden with lights shooting off of them.
They look exactly the same, and the damn name is pretty much the same. They both start with the same damn thing. And I have the same issue with Zagara, because I think of Maw as a Nidus.
Yeah.
Like it just looks like another Nidus worm, so it's like, oh, both are wormy looking. Oops. Picked the wrong I do it all the time. Well, not all the time, but every time we stream it, I do it. I'm looking forward to Tomb of the Spider Queen. The cool thing about this is that it has what are we gonna call them? Like custom creeps. Like there's spider creeps that push the lane. So we have more of these kind of specialized creeps for the battleground that we're playing on, which is something that you and I both were kind of hoping for in the early days of the show. And they're actually part of the objective of the map, because you kill these spiders and you collect gems from them. And apparently, when you collect enough of these gems, you summon a spider queen for that, I guess, that lane. I'm not sure how the lane is chosen, but...
Yeah, I think it's all lanes at once. Or at least the video, it didn't show any heroes turning anything in or what kind of mechanics, even what the gems look like. But there were the same amount of spiders spawning in every lane. This whole mechanic has got me so excited, because I go back way into Dota 1 on Warcraft 3, even further back into like Aeons of Strife, where you had, your carries, your tanky characters and your supports. And one of the things supports would do that instead of buying items, they would actually go to the very back of the base and spend their gold to upgrade creeps. And so over the course of the game, it wasn't only how great the heroes were doing, but how many bonuses to attack and armor you had on those guys. So I've been really looking forward to something where you can turn in your points and actually affect the waves. And this is just completely, you have your normal waves going out, your couple of knights in front and your little caster in the back. And then there are ranged spiders that are also throwing in. In fact, their range is a little longer than the wizard caster. So they're going to stay alive and get a lot done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Although, were you a little disappointed we didn't get it this past Tuesday? I know a lot of people were.
Yeah, if it was hot on the heels, I did not expect it, but the Sylvanas hype is real for so many people. I can understand completely why, Lost Vikings maybe came out, interesting hero, let's get some tests done. But this one, I think, is going to bring a lot of people back into the game, and I'm going to patiently just sit back and wait my turn, because I'm not joining that mad fest. Everyone's going to be playing Sylvanas. Yeah. Everyone's going to be queuing up and just running over each other with different ideas. I'm really excited about her. I'm going to let those like Kristen, who is just losing her mind ever since she found her in the Undercity and took about 20 pictures with her in World of Warcraft, screenshots. People like that, go for it. It's all yours.
Yeah, I was very much the same way, and this trailer didn't help.
I was once a far strider. I swore an oath to defend Silvermoon and its people to my dying breath. It was not enough. My homeland still burned. But those days are long past. And history will not repeat itself. I am Sylvanas Windrunner, Queen of the Forsaken. And if you will not serve me in this life, then you will do so in the next.
Oh man, I am so excited for Sylvanas.
That one right there, that was the one we were talking about.
What?
Jeez.
What are you talking about?
Oh, never mind, you're leading. Anyway. It was 2 minutes ago. You've already forgotten. Moving on.
I don't know what you're referencing.
Don't worry about it. Sylvanas. We finally got to see a lot of her. We got to see the little story trailer of her. I'm guessing that's a skin for her when she's not all corrupt.
Oh, I would assume. Yeah, because we have Lich King Arthas, and then of course we have Prince Arthas, uncorrupted. I'm sure we're gonna have High Elf Sylvanas.
They did a nice little homage to her being slightly a banshee for some reason for the one level that you play as her, and then they retrofitted her as an actual archer later on in Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne.
Well, right. I mean, it would be. Yeah, that did kind of. That was like in World of Warcraft, man. She used to be a night elf model. That always used to bug the hell out of me.
And then I was beating up on Arthas, apparently. Poor Arthas. Finally had it coming.
Well, come on, man. You don't get a little bit of Warcraft 3 nerd chills watching that?
I do.
You're talking down on us Sylvanas fanboys. You're talking all the good shit, but you're getting a little bit of that Warcraft 3, nerdgasm happening.
Yeah, well, I'm an Arthas apologist here. I got Frostmourne behind me, not a bow. I'm going, nah. Well,
I mean, you're not going to find a bigger Arthas apologist than myself, but I still love Sylvanas' character, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. She is a specialist, like we kind of were already told by Dustin Browder and other developers over the course of Sylvanas previews in the past.
Right, but it's almost like we didn't believe them.
I know.
They said it so many times, and we're like, whatever, dudes. Assassin, right? Someone with a bow. Assassin.
Yeah, I was still holding out for assassin, and because we don't have an archer assassin yet. I don't know how this isn't a thing, but it needs to be. I mean, it looks like from what they showed that Sylvanas can put out a lot of the hurt still high damage, which again brings some. This could bring the whole conversation that we've had in the past, which is people like Tassadar, who should not be a support, and right now Zagara sure as hell feels more like an assassin than a specialist. Like, there's all these heroes that don't seem to really fit the classification that they're under, and I'm curious to see if Sylvanas will feel more assassin than specialist when we get a chance to try her out. But
right, if you're going off of Warcraft 3, silence, making little undead minions with your dark arrow, mind control, all these abilities, health drain, these are all kind of specialist-y. But when we saw the original video back in BlizzCon, it seemed like it was a sort of chase me, and I'll kill you kind of style, which is still in there.
Yes, absolutely. The which one is it? Is it Withering Fire? Yes. Her Q ability, which looked super flashy when they showed it at PAX. It's like rapid fire arrow shots, but it's like you spawn like a shadow Sylvanas on top of yourself, and it just auto targets the closest target and prioritizes heroes. And it works off of charges, which you can store up to 5 of, and you can replenish these charges by killing creeps, which seems odd.
Well, we have our rather forgiving Diablo Black Soulstone system where you need to be engaged and at least kind of swinging your meaty hams, but you don't need to get those, final hits in. So it'll probably be pretty easy with your other abilities to stack up those points. And then once you're up at 5, you go, okay, cool. I'm going to go, hit another lane.
Yeah.
Or maybe get that hero kill off. The idea that she is so dark and awesome and the Banshee Queen, that her shadow attacks people as she runs away, is one of the coolest things on Earth.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's not just creeps specifically. It says here that I think it just says target, so I'm sure. Because why wouldn't a hero kill not give you a charge back?
Right, or 2. And we still haven't seen the talents for these, so there's probably plenty of ways to augment them, probably including a higher level, you don't really need to kill any creeps to make it recharge thing.
Yeah, maybe like every so many seconds you gain a charge, like 20 seconds or 30
more
seconds.
Charges.
Right, or you get more charges per kill. I'm sure there's all kinds of augments, I'm sure, coming down the pipeline. Those would seem to make a lot of sense. Her passive seems really cool. It's called Dark Arrow, and from what I understand, it's like if she attacks a tower, it kind of like shuts it down momentarily, which just immediately made me think of like an overseer as a hero, like
gunking it up,
gunking up structures and whatnot.
Yeah, it's cool looking, almost as it's frozen in another dimension. Right now, this strikes me in an odd way, just because any sort of anti-tower builds, particularly the talents that do extra damage and take away ammo, are just kind of in a weird spot. We'll see what this brings.
Well, yeah, because it's one of those things where it feels bad, and we've had this discussion in the past about heroes who have abilities that are good when they're dead. It's like, well, if you're not dying, you're not taking advantage of them. With abilities that are specifically siege oriented, if you're not sieging, you're not taking advantage of them. Or if it's the end game and there's nothing left to siege, you're not taking advantage of them.
Exactly. It puts you in that odd spot of I'm winning too hard. There's nothing for me to freeze with my arrows, or I'm not winning hard enough and I can't even push far enough to wail on a tower. But there does make that fascinating, awesome possibility with her Haunting Wave, where she sends this, big delayed blast out, and then she can teleport to where the wave is at the moment. So can you imagine, someone runs back behind the wall and, oh no, they got away. Just kidding. Wave through, teleport in, kill the dude, 3-shot the various towers so they all shut down, and you walk your butt out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very excited about all of that. And yes, you're right. This talent seems to be begging that type of play, because there's all kinds of heroes in the game right now that can get over a wall that's still up, but they're probably going to die as a result.
Right. There's no way to lock it down without having, wailed on the tower with some sort of, anti-ammo shot, which is, off the top of my head, Raynor and Zagara, 2 heroes that aren't leaping or getting anything done in that department.
Are you talking about people who can take Demolitionist?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, I was thinking like, your Illidan's of the world who hop over it and then go, oh, crap.
Right, and the Chens, yeah, but that's exactly their lament is, oh, whoops, I got him, but I'm dead. At least they're known around to get the XP from my death.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. And chat rooms mentioning that Vala is pretty much a damage dealing archer, but I think of more of her like some kind of cheesy dual wielding pistol like action Chinese film. I don't know.
Lots of cartwheels, jumping on the top of the tree, and her weight doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, or maybe the Matrix. Who knows? But I think of them more like guns than bow and arrows. I know they're crossbows, but magically reloading crossbows.
Yeah. She doesn't even have the Tomb Raider pop out reloaders.
Oh, that's really stupid.
Well, it's a dumb movie. The live action movie.
Haven't seen it since it originally came out, so I can't help you there.
All right, well,
I remember nothing about it other than I saw it.
Good on you. Though interesting to watch because Daniel Craig is the main love interest.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Good to know that. Good to know that some people can survive bad decisions. Let's talk about her heroic abilities. The first one you can choose is, or we're assuming will be the first one you can choose, is Wailing Arrow. It shoots a special arrow that explodes for heavy AoE damage and silences enemies for 2.5 seconds. Ranged silence. Yes. Also, drow much, Kyle?
Right. I feel like you couldn't do the straight up silence area effect. You could put it in a cone. You could do it on a shot that you then skill shot again to make it explode. It's great as an ultimate here. It keeps the character unique.
Yeah. So, it also works as an interrupt if they're channeling. So Sylvanas, I'm excited already because good, she'll counter Nazebo. Which if you can counter Nazebo, I'm interested in playing you.
Right, and it makes a lot of sense why we are in a world right now where Nazebo has not been touched by balance changes and had that damage reduced when we're seeing like this on the horizon.
Right. And then let's talk about Possession, the other heroic ability Sylvanas can use. It forces an enemy minion or mercenary to fight for you. I guess targets are going to gain bonus health and bonus damage while they're under the effects of Possession. And the more powerful of the target you steal, the longer you will have to wait to use the ability again. So apparently it's a graduating cooldown timer depending on how badass of a person you possess.
Right, so Specialist makes this a lot more powerful of an ability. Originally, I'm thinking Possession, you take control of an enemy hero, maybe jump inside them for a bit. There's no world where that's a fun mechanic. So this is what Possession has become.
Yeah, like I'm curious how it's gonna control. Like, do you just tell it what to attack? Are you able to micro both Sylvanas and what's possessed?
Right, what happens when there's that in-between when you don't have the cooldown? Does that mean you can move them around? Is it, as long as you don't click on another creep, you can, sort of, what would it be? R move them through the woods with you as you change lanes? My guess would be that they just, straight up turn around the AI that, was already in control of the character in the first place, just swaps teams.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that's gonna be dope. I mean, come on, how many times, especially if you catch the mercenary like right as it's coming out of the enemy's like wall, and it's just now it's attacking your wall. Enjoy.
Exactly. I'm guessing we're going to be looking at a minute cooldown standard, but if you're just doing it could be fun to just grab a whole bunch of little lane wizards, and if that had a 20-second cooldown, you can kind of stock them up. It'd be real neat to see, but we just don't have a frame of reference right now. And we don't know if it actually works on summoned minions of other heroes or heroic abilities like stealing Nazebo's zombie or a Banshee from Raynor.
Yeah. And the other thing that's popping in my head is like a Siege Giant equivalent to one Bruiser, because there's 4 Bruisers and only 2 Siege Giants, but Bruisers are harder to capture than Siege Giants. And my brain explodes, Kyle.
Right. Yeah, you're only getting one here, and whatever that cooldown is in the end. is what you got to deal with. So Wailing Arrow, I'm expecting to be picked a lot more, but Sylvanas could fill that pushing role, and Possession could be the one to take in those situations.
Yeah. I mean, it gets me excited. It gets me thinking about a siege build or a siege-focused hero, which has never really been anything that's interested me, but they're slapping it on a character I'm a huge fan of. So I want to try it. Using Dark Arrow in conjunction with Possession on a siege giant, you might be able to really push a lane, and you're going to force the opposing team to really keep tabs on what you're doing as Sylvanas.
Right. You have your, Withering Fire, which is to run away. You have your short-range teleport. You have a Shadow Dagger for clearing lanes. So you're basically going to be pushed real fast while everyone's ignoring you and get out and be able to take enemy units. It's going to be pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Though chat rooms, discussing whether or not you can take a boss. Bosses right now, talking about, the big golems or whatever the specialty unit is on the map. Those things are resistant to a lot of mechanics, and this will most likely not work on them.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would let you. But
no, the cooldown would have to be so outrageous that it wouldn't even be worth taking.
Yeah, that's one of the, what would be a cooldown would be so long that you wouldn't even think about possessing it, Kyle?
It would have to be longer than it takes for the camp to respawn.
Oh, that's a good thought.
Because you couldn't do it twice in a row. That'd be too much.
Right.
So it is your once per game ultimate. It wouldn't work out in the end. And if they already took it, they either took it in the first place and your team's not really on top of their game, or they took it while you all were dead and you're behind anyway. They're all going to be up to intercept it when it turns around. So there's really not a situation where you come on top there.
Yeah. Well, any other closing thoughts on Sylvanas?
I mean, is there anything that anyone out there just can't high-five themselves saying? She's going to be real cool. And I'm excited about it.
Tuesday or Riot.
Yep.
I know previously I was saying Sylvanas next hero or Riot, but now it's just get her really fast, or I'm going to start a Riot. Dustin Browder also brought up other things that are coming soon to Heroes of the Storm, first of which are some UI improvements, most of which we are excited about on this show, is the after-game score screen. We're finally getting it, Kyle. We're finally getting something that I'm not sure why it was never here in the first place.
I no longer have to press print screen to analyze what happened seconds after the match.
I do the same thing.
Huzzah.
And now I've started doing it on, out of reflex. And then I actually look. I'm like, oh yeah, we lost, and I did terrible that game. Why would I want to save this?
The real sad part is MS Paint is no longer going to be used at all on my computer.
Your definition of sad and mine are completely different, apparently.
It needs a little love, man. It's the only place I can paste that to just look at it quickly. Poor program.
You have Photoshop now, don't you?
Well, yeah, but that thing takes, about a minute and a half to load up. I'm a busy man. Paint's ready to go.
I always have Photoshop open. I have to remind myself to close it before shows. We also, a Team League looks like it's on the way because we got to look at the Team League UI. Nothing too exciting. We know we're going to be able to be on multiple teams. They reiterated that you will be able to have up to 9 people on the roster of your team, so 5 people and 4 alternates should someone not show up to that night's brawl. You can be up to 3 teams at once. So I'm looking forward to Team League, Kyle, even though we are notoriously unlucky as far as scheduling is concerned.
Right, but yeah, with being able to be on 3 teams with a big enough roster like this, it's going to be a great system. We practically already have this, with our bat signal style of play. And, friends, notes, and everything else. I already know who I want to play with. Bring it on.
I'm making mine right now. I want Jim Bob on a good day. I want D-Day when he's not seeing red. I want myself when I'm not in a deep blind rage. And I want Kyle when he doesn't want to play Abathur.
There we go.
There we go. I think I need a 5th person there, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we've got Ben on Nazebo. We got Kristen on heels. We can fill it out.
Yeah.
But there always is that frightening sort of on the horizon part of me that goes, oh, man, I'm so excited about Team League. Not so excited about those eventual conversations you have to have with your friends where you go, dude, I'm sorry. Like, everyone likes you. You're a great person, but this is my team league and it's serious business. So you're out, at least on that hero.
We're also
There should be
getting
some sort of long agreement you have to sign about, being open about talking with your friends before getting into team league.
Yeah, that's a good point. They brought up some other things. They mentioned clan support again. That clans will be coming in the near future, which we're both, I'm sure, very excited about it. Since we have the A-Move chat channel, it's just like, well, I just want a list. I just want to see everyone who's online, notes, and a better interface to interact with everyone.
Right, or not having to take up my whole friends list so I can check, who's playing what. Instead, just go in there and immediately know, oh, they're in a game. Because right now, you can whisper anyone you want, but you don't know if they're in a game or not, unless you're friends.
Yeah. Hero levels are, they're currently 10. They're getting increased to 30. Or sorry,
Right.
to 20. They're being increased by 10 to 20. My apologize.
Right. I'm just sitting here going like, man, like you were so excited about that UI improvement. Why are you waiting on this one? The talent gating gone at level 30.
Yes. Yes, very excited about that. We'll no longer have to worry about it once you hit level 30, which is great. Possibly not soon enough, in my opinion.
It's a little late, but I'm more than happy to still have the system, as we've discussed ad nauseum on previous shows from weeks ago. The hero level, though, up to 20 is awesome. I'm really excited about the bonus gold you're going to get along those level climbs, and the fact that I don't feel bad about playing a master skinned hero because I'm, wasting a potential XP bonus.
Yeah. You're gonna get a. You mentioned the stim pack. I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Oh, okay. I was just like, did we skip? It's not a huge deal. But we get a free week stim pack when you hit level 10. So if you're new to the game or whatever, I wondered, is any of this going to happen retroactively?
Right. It's all going to happen retroactively.
Okay. All right. Good. Because then there's also going to be all this bonus gold for hitting all your different account levels. Looks like from 20 and then every 5 levels after that. As well as hero levels 15 and 20. Although I gotta say, man, I've been trying to hit 10 on multiple heroes. I even have a stim pack going. It takes forever. It's gonna take an obscene amount of time to hit 15 and 20. Those amounts of gold better be spectacular.
It's going to be huge. They've said that they are keeping the levels the same, and every level after 10 takes just as long as 9 to 10. So we're talking like Diablo Paragon levels here. You're going to be getting some bonus gold. You're going to be getting, some maybe portraits or whatever is filling out along that way. But for the most part, this is your stick and your little carrot to reward yourself for a game you were going to play in the first place.
I better get a damn life-size statue of Uther when I hit 20 on Uther. I'm just a physical statue shipped to my house.
That'd be incredible, but sadly, man, I just traveled. No more Sky Mail. So I don't know where you're going to order your life-size statues.
You mean
anymore.
Sky Mall?
Yeah, Sky Mall.
Yeah.
So the 7-day stim pack, I think that's definitely a targeted, well-researched decision. Level 10 is most likely when most people go, oh, okay, I get the game now, I'm out. Something like that gets you going in the next 7 days, and, well, there you're hooked.
I guess, yeah. That's a good. So, yeah, first one's free.
Exactly.
That's what it boils down to, Kyle.
Hey, man, you want stim pack?
No, Jimmy, I'm good.
I'm looking forward to it. And these things are going to activate when you log in next. So if you're listening, you think, oh man, I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks or whatever. It's not until you log in, when this patch goes live, that stim pack will activate.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Good to see him thinking ahead like that.
We love our stats and our tier list on the show, right, Kyle?
We do.
Do you want to hear Blizzard stats and tier list?
I can't wait.
All right. Well, Dustin Browder with his gloriously tucked in T-shirt. Still, I don't. Why is that a thing? Someone please tell me.
I don't know.
It's so bad.
If you're below the age of 60, it does not work.
Do they not have the big bowling shirts for Heroes of the Storm that they have for all the other Blizzard games? Can we stop giving them T-shirts to tuck in, please?
Mike Morheim airbrushes his own bowling shirts. That's why he's the only one that wears them. Each one of those custom made with love.
Yeah, he always wears the Wings of Liberty one, which has just a Rainer's Raider patch on it and just a blue stripe. There's no art on it.
I'm a little surprised after all the makeup that the casters get that the developers don't get a little spruced up. But their hairs did. Oh, sorry, Dustin Browder. There's no hair to be done.
Yeah. I guess he could grow like a beard. You could start giving Samwise a run for his money.
Right, or a sick hat.
I'm sorry. First off, I thought Dustin Browder did an amazing job presenting.
He's been like his presenting and hyping skills since the original release of Wings of Liberty have just grown exponentially.
No, he's gotten so good, and I saw a lot of people teasing like Jeff Kaplan during the Overwatch presentation, but it's like I'm fine with it. I kind of like, you can tell like between Dustin Browder and Jeff Kaplan which one of them has spent more time talking to crowds.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Granted, please don't stop doing that. I would very much like to have the people who make the games presenting these things, but.
Right, and you don't want to, all EA'd up and like have, the dude standing there playing, some buff dude and with the controller, and then, just personalities invited on who aren't the developers. Like, no, show us 100% your passion. I don't care if you stutter or giggle or what. Just communicate how awesome the game is going to be to me.
Or and stay with me here, just have Chris Metzen do everything.
Yeah, I could watch that man almost cry all day. That or Day 9.
Yeah, there you go. That's another one. Yeah, give Day 9 all the jobs because he doesn't have enough going on.
No.
Anyway, Dustin Browder gave us some statistics straight from Blizzard about Heroes of the Storm, saying who the top tier heroes are, who the lowest tier heroes are, and who they consider evenly tiered. And they gave us separate stats for both Quick Match and Hero League. So for Quick Match, according to their stats, the top tier heroes are Lost Vikings, Brightwing, Nazebo, Uther, and Rhaegar. Brightwing being the thing that surprised me the most here because she kind of got hit with a nerf stick.
But this is Quick Match, so I can't think of a situation where Brightwing's bad.
No, and I still enjoy Brightwing. It's not like Arthas where I've just stopped playing him entirely.
Really interesting to see Rhaegar on here, though.
Is it? Because Rhaegar is amazing.
No, he is amazing, and Uther is amazing. But these are both heroes that have a very unique playstyle. Rhaegar in particular, a lot of people have been catching on to the fact at how powerful his auto attacks are and how aggressive you can get with a labeled support, but almost a melee warrior. And if you look at all, 5 of these, I can't think of a team where I wouldn't go, great, bring them on. And there's too few supports in Quick Match in the first place, so they most likely take teams to victory.
I played a lot of probably the most Quick Match this week since Hero League hit, just because I had a stable of dailies to get finished, and I noticed a severe dearth of warriors.
Oh, just none?
Yeah, like so many games with no warriors.
Yeah, it makes sense in Quick Match because they're not very jazzy.
Yeah, I don't know. So I feel like if you're in Quick Match, you're probably a newer player, and I still see a lot of people gravitating towards like Muradin and Sonya if they're newer. But I don't know. Rhaegar is fun though. I'm not surprised to see Rhaegar so high on the list on Quick Match because being able to instantly turn into a Spirit Wolf and run faster is just mobility. We've said it in every game we've ever talked about, Kyle. Mobility abilities are fun as hell.
Yeah, and that's just so iconic for shamans.
Rhaegar's got a real fun one. In Quick Match, the lowest tiered hero is apparently Chen.
Makes sense after his previous nerfs.
And I'm okay with that because was getting real sick of Chen there for a bit.
If you're going to have someone jumping all over you, he should die like Illidan. Not be able to split into several pandas and continue the nightmare.
That's a very good point. And then the even tiered heroes for Quick Match, they said are Diablo and Zagara. Diablo being the one I'm surprised to see, but he seems to be really popular. Folks just want to be the Lord of Terror.
Yeah, and they should be. He's doing really well right now. I mean, you go over to hot slogs right now. He's down 1%, sure, but his win percentage is up to 48. And what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, he was, down there and everyone was dissing on him. Now he's in a decent place.
Yeah. Well, let's look at Hero League. According to Blizzard, top tier is Illidan, Rhaegar, Sergeant Hammer, the Lost Vikings, and Tyrande. Because you have to slip in a little surprise there. Illidan, Rhaegar, Hammer, Vikings, I believe it. Tyrande, pleasant surprise. One of my favorite heroes. I don't see her picked a lot. That being said, when I do see her picked, there's some phenomenal Tyrande players out there.
There are, and there are people that can really land that stun just incredibly. Of just hitting the owl. Everything about her is real cool. Though when you're in a Heroes League queue and you get into the draft phase and one of the first 2 picks is Tyrande, I feel like everyone else on the team goes, well, is that damage? Is that support? What do I need to bring? Because clearly we need another real support and not another half support, and we need damage, but we need real damage, and you just kind of get in this weird spot, and everyone just starts picking the weird stuff, and the other team is going Stitches, Nazebo, Brightwing, and you lose.
You're just going, no, it's not. We're going up against the meta team.
Yep.
Lowest.
So excited to see that there. Illidan top tier. This is a bit of a nightmare in Hero League at the moment, as all the previous Illidan players who went, well, I'm not the best, are now going, all right, I'm top tier, and diving in there and just dying.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Lowest tier, according to Blizzard, not surprising, I think, to either you or I, is Murky.
Yep.
Which, considering how much the Heroes team has been getting on the forums and saying, we know, we're working on it, doesn't surprise me.
Nope, Murky's always going to be in a weird place, particularly in a game where you can pick very heavy counters to him. And this is anything with stealth to get back there and get an egg. And he doesn't do enough damage, so you just kind of ignore him at the moment.
Yeah. And then finally, the even-tiered on Hero League is Zeratul.
Makes sense. Nothing can go wrong there.
Well, plenty can go wrong, but...
Right, but Zeratul, I feel like, he's in a weird social standing because he's real awesome. He's just a cool looking alien. He's stealthy. He's got the laser sword. Like, what 5-year-old doesn't want to pretend to be Zeratul in their backyard for a couple minutes?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've tried Zeratul yet. I think he's one of the heroes I haven't even touched.
Exactly, and that's the other part of him. He's real cool, but he's just kind of squishy, scary, melee. Yeah. And there are those people who heavily invest in him, and they get to run with him. Unlike someone like Illidan, who has more fun mobility, as we just talked about, and it attracts a more or less skilled player base.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gone up since some disgustingly good Illadins this week. He's kind of... I always have the thing, the hero I complain about, and right now I feel like it's Illidan. I'm really sick of Illidan. Although I've been playing a lot of Zagara, and if you get caught out against an Illidan as Zagara, it's just lights out.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? You have no escape mechanics.
Nope. It's like, is my Maw up? Do I want to use it on one guy, not in a team fight? I guess so.
Well, and Illidan's still in that weird half-bugged phase where stuns aren't really working on him.
Oh, you're talking about yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Oh, just so it doesn't get advertised out there? All right.
No, because I'm so sick of my stun on Uther going on cooldown and nothing happening to Muradin and to Illidan.
Fair enough. So that pause is more like you gathering yourself and going, the profanity is rising.
Yeah. I think I was streaming games last week. I don't know. Something happened and I lost it.
Yeah. No, it was when we were in that game against an Illidan and a Demon Hunter, and both vaulted or leapt straight out of your stun.
Yeah.
And your mind just broke.
Which it's like, it's okay. If that's the way they want the game to work, fine. But don't give me a cooldown when my ability was just wasted.
Right, or, give me that 7-second restart, but still, as though my ability got interrupted.
Yeah.
Or put it in the tooltip, so I expect it all the time, and I'll stun something else. We'll see if it's intentional or not. I highly doubt it is.
Yeah, it doesn't seem intentional. It's rage-inducing. Just blinding rage.
But these are all Blizzard stats, and they are balancing all of this at the moment based off over large, huge stat collections like this of win rates and what's most picked. Later on, they're going to have to do the StarCraft balancing act, where they have to go, this hero in this particular tier needs to be taken down, so we'll mess with this ability in this here. But right now, it's just, it's more widespread. If you head over to HOTS logs, where they have, the 7-day update as to what the evolution of play looks like, Arthas is actually up 2.3%. The highest climb in the last 7 days.
Not going to get me, man.
No, not diving back on it?
Nah, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Heroes of the Dorm was also announced because, hey, Dorm rhymes with Storm. Blizzard is
it is kind of cute.
It's adorable. If I was still in college, I would be so jacked about this. Blizzard is partnering with ESPN. You can win tuition, basically, by playing Heroes of the Storm. If you're a college student, you can go to heroesofthedorm.com and register your pre-made team of 5. You have until March 26th to do so. The winning team from Heroes of the Dorm is going to receive a tuition for their college career, and the top 4 teams are going to receive an Epic Gaming System, a HyperX Cloud headset, SteelSeries Heroes of the Storm mousepad, and all expense paid trips to the Heroes of the Dorm finals. All top 64 teams will be receiving $40 in Battle.net Balance gift cards, and every single registered team will receive free beta access to Heroes of the Storm, which is great, man. Like, bring it on. Now, granted, this is great. And with all great things comes immediate bitching by the internet.
Oh, no. What did you read?
I immediately saw complaints from people saying, why do we have this and not an official Pro League from Blizzard? Like, still no... Like, we don't have a world championship like we do for Hearthstone or StarCraft or World of Warcraft.
Sure, but that would be populated by nothing but people who are already established in the scene. Either previous Moba players, people who have got on already established and well-funded teams so they can afford to take that sort of time off to experiment with the game. I love this because it's going to put fresh faces in there, help them actually through college, and then, fill out the scene in a more serious way.
I don't disagree with that, but all the points against a regular Pro League you just made are true of literally every esport in existence.
Right. It's in a different place because it's not, there are enough one-to-ones in this game from other MOBAs that teams trying to get the best bang for their buck could switch over to Heroes and drop their previous Dota or League of Legends careers just to go where the money is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is it a bad thing? We had plenty of Magic players come over to Hearthstone. Brood War players come to StarCraft 2.
Right,
StarCraft 2 players that couldn't hack it going to lesser games like League of Legends.
Right. We do want... Yeah.
Just a little jab there. Little jab.
We do want the best games we can get, though, as viewers. So I feel like this is really going to support a scene that'll come later on, and this is the right move for right now.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I want a Pro League. And I disagree with everything you said.
Okay. Fair enough. I agree. I want a Pro League too. I want it to be beautiful, well casted, extremely skilled. But this is a very cool opportunity. I'm very sad this wasn't out while I was in college. Granted, that was, 7 years ago or so would have been the thick of it. And all my friends didn't care about MOBAs because they weren't being streamed. It wasn't this thing that it is today.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, because I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm stoked about Heroes of the Dawn. I think it's great. And if I was eligible for it, I would definitely be participating.
Yeah.
I just also want a Pro League. I'm not looking at this and going, why do we have this before the Pro League? No, just give me that too.
Sure, but we're still going to have something at BlizzCon, I'm sure. That's not this.
I would think so, and now the thing is now BlizzCon's been announced, and we still haven't really heard anything. I hope it's just not another show tournament that's just, we just invited people at random, here you go.
Right, I can understand if the game is not out of closed beta, why we would have another one of those. We need to, invite the public in again, and the caster, the dev or community manager casters that they had last time were extremely inviting. But I'm ready to hear the big words, the crisp casts of people who know everything about the person they're watching.
You just want to see Caldor cast, is what you're saying.
He does a good job, man.
He does a damn good job.
I got nothing wrong with that. Though, if you're trying to encourage collegiate academics, maybe giving them a sweet gamer set as they are on their way to the finals isn't the best idea. They're just going to take the money, run, and now they have a sweet gaming set to keep on gaming.
I sincerely doubt that if they made the top 4 that they would just be like, I don't want to play in the finals now that I made it this far.
Right, I'm back to college. They all just drop off.
I
take the money, become pro players.
I'm not sure that's an issue. I'm not sure they're going to need to worry about that. Before we move into strategies, I want to give a big shout out and a thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN. This week we'd like to thank Philip S., Jason P., and Chris, who didn't give us a last initial. Just Chris. Thank you all very much for supporting Into the Nexus. As everyone knows, or probably does if you listen to the last few episodes, we have hit our $500 a month mark, which means we are doing after show games every single week. If you enjoy the show and you want to back us for $1 or $5 or however much you want to, you can do so at patreon.com/ITN. And that's actually how you get into the after show games. We patrons get first dibs, and then we fill it out with whoever else shows up to the live show. So go check it out. Patreon.com/ITN. Now, Kyle, let's talk some strategy, shall we?
Choose a talent.
Choose a talent.
Talent? Ah, that seems generous.
Impressive work, hero. I think you're ready for more.
This week's strategy, we got an email from Martin. And Martin wrote in and said, hello, happy isometric view heroes, which I love. And this man clearly listens to TAC before I even read the next words, which is, the Angry Chicken just featured a glossary of basic Hearthstone/CCG terms. Possibly, new hero players would be just as happy to have a glossary of MOBA terms. Even the terms that don't really apply in Heroes may come up. I think you mentioned that Heroes doesn't really have carries, which of course just made me ask, so what's a carry? Yeah, thanks, Martin. That's a really good suggestion because we kind of did the new players dictionary on last week or this week's Angry Chicken, and we got a lot of really good feedback about it. Now, granted, we got a couple emails from people like, I skipped the whole thing, and I was just like, cool, wasn't for you, and I don't care. So this may not be for you, and we apologize. Just skip ahead.
I'm sorry if you're too pro for what's about to go down here.
Yeah. I mean, how dare we want to help new players every now and then, Kyle?
But these are all terminologies that have built up over the years. If you played any MOBA, you've heard most of these. In fact, if you've played a MMO, you've definitely heard a lot of these.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. People may reference champs, tunes, or heroes. This is what you're playing, the hero you have selected.
Yep.
Creeps are minions. They are the things running down lanes at you that are not player controlled. I was waiting for a Kyle agreeance, but okay.
Oh, yeah. What's continue.
If only we've been doing this together for like 4 years, we might have our stuff together better. Bush and brush are areas of the maps where heroes become invisible once they enter, and it comes from the fact that usually these are actually bushes or tall grass. In some instances, like on Blackheart's Bay, it's like a foggy smoke coming up from beneath the dock. Build is in other MOBAs, what gear you choose, which doesn't exist in Heroes, so it doesn't matter. In case of Heroes, it would be the talents that you choose.
Right, these are also followed up by a pro player name or a funky word meant to symbolize the whole thing. We just don't have those systems in place. So right now, you basically say, I'm going damage if you're on Tyrande, and your build is something you need to inform your teammates of.
You do, you bring that up, though. There are some heroes that we have coined some phrases for, like Tyrande has the bird build. A lot of people reference to, and that's when you do a lot of the sentinel talents, which is the owl bird skill shot.
Asmodunk being one of them, too.
Asmodunk, exactly. Skill shot being another thing we could mention. That's an ability that relies on the player to manually aim it. Tyrande's sentinel being a good example, or Tyrande's lunar flare. Tyrande's just a big skill shot parking lot, basically.
The whole game is, but that's because you're not dealing with item buttons to press. And the most buttons you can possibly get is going to take you up to 8, whereas other MOBAs, that could go well above that.
Yeah.
So there has to be a lot of skill shots to make sure this has the skill ceiling needed to be a professionally played game.
Yep. Cooldowns. This is one of those ones I'm like, I can't imagine a world where I didn't know what this meant, but I'm sure it existed. So this is how long a given skill has to wait before it becomes available again after being used, and are generally varying lengths depending on the ability. And if you play Uther, you are aware that this is the one thing that makes him not a god.
And we don't have a system in place at the moment to see if people's ultimates are on cooldowns. Most MOBAs do, either some sort of crystal up top that is lit that shows you that, everyone's ready to roll in a team fight. So just yelling off and then CD usually means, that communicates to your team that you're not ready to Divine Storm or whatever it may be.
Yeah, if you ever see CD, it means cooldown. I'm trying to think of a clever thing to say. It means cat dog. Some people.
Well, I've been confused too. Like people screaming MIA in lane, and you're going, oh, no, we're all here. No one's AFK. What? But that's someone saying, their enemy hero is missing.
Okay. MIA it's kind of a well-known term in even non-MOBAs.
I don't know. To me, like when I first got into MOBAs, there was a lot of things simply put that made zero sense.
Gotcha. Speaking of which,
just a few weeks ago, I asked you, what's RNG?
Did you?
Yeah.
I feel like I would have remembered this.
No, I think you gave me oh come on, and then I went I'm serious.
Oh, fair enough. That was something.
It from your mind because it was so egregious.
No, I will give you that because I do remember Googling that at one point in my life. I'm like, what the hell is RNG? Oh my! And then I read it. And I'm like, of course. Random number generator for those who don't know.
Right, here's our chat going, does that mean missing in action? And yes, it does.
MIA means missing in action. You may hear map awareness brought up. Every MOBA has a mini-map, and map awareness is how much attention you pay to that mini-map. It's really, really important skill to master, being aware of the map, knowing where everyone is, knowing how many enemies you have in sight, so you know if it's safe or not to go for that forward, mercenary camp. Lane, you're going to hear thrown around a lot in any MOBA you play, and Heroes of the Storm is no exception, even though they want to call it a Heroes Brawler. It's effectively a MOBA, and there are lanes in this. A lot of the maps have a 3-lane, so you're going to have a top, a middle, and a bottom lane. These are where the creeps spawn, and they move down it. If you are unsure of what a lane is because you're getting into your very first game in Heroes of the Storm, they're protected by walls, turrets, towns, and that's where the creeps are going.
Right, and it's deciding your first couple minutes of the map. In other MOBAs, that lanes can be an entirely different thing, a phase that lasts up to 20 minutes. Here, it's about 4 minutes, but it's still important that when you stand at the gate, when that game gets going, that is your charge. When the objective's off, you go back to your charge.
Yeah. The now, for Pool and Fountain, you put where you start at the beginning of the game. That does not apply for Heroes of the Storm. Because there are fountains in every town.
Yeah, you're right.
So we usually refer to that as the Nexus, or I call it the altar, because it reminds me of Warcraft 3, where your heroes spawn.
Well, we have the term hearth here, and hearthing, which, came from WoW and all that. So no one ever really says, go to the fountain.
Yeah, no one ever says fountain. And if they do say fountain in this game, it means like go back and heal up. And you'll actually, the AI is constantly yelling at you. Like if you're in lane with an Uther AI will be like, you should use a healing fountain.
Right, you look terrible. A fountain now on Arthas.
Yeah. You're going to hear turret thrown around, and if you're not aware, all walls are protected by 2 turrets. And then there's also the town hall has a turret built into it. So those are what turrets are. Objectives are rather unique to Heroes of the Storm. These are the goals or the milestones that either need to be taken to advance and ultimately win the game. And a lot of them provide benefits to the entire team if you achieve them. So learn your objectives. If you just got in Heroes of the Storm, pay attention to those loading screens because they're really good at like quick and dirty telling you exactly what the battleground is all about.
It is a good rundown. The main site for Heroes of the Storm also has excellent videos to show you this. Next one being Team Fight, which is basically what this particular game is all about.
This might as well be called Heroes of the Team Fight.
Yeah.
Which is why heroes like Abathur give everyone a heart attack, because there's one less body in a team fight.
It can be shocking, and you feel like every game, you're a little behind, but I'm happy to see Abathur climbing back up in the ranks.
Yeah, but that's any combat that involves the majority of the team. That'll be a team fight. If you see the letters CC typed, it means crowd control, which is a catch-all term that refers to any ability that like in some way disables or mitigates an enemy player's, really kind of movement. So usually a stun or a slow or a snare. That would be considered crowd control. And this can be confusing
because this is very prevalently put out in the draft mode. We need more CC. And for me, it doesn't even cover slow. If you say we need more CC and you grab a Jaina, you've done it wrong.
Right. Yeah, for me too. It's the same. It's like for me, I first learned the term crowd control from World of Warcraft. I played Hunter, and I immediately thought of it with a trap. So I'm the same way as you. Like if it doesn't completely stop the target from moving, it is not crowd control.
Right. The most obvious one of these to me is Brightwing's polymorph.
Right. Now they can still move, but they're out of commission.
Exactly.
It needs to in some way remove them from the fight. Zagara's Maw. Nubarak's web shot thing. I forget the name of because no one ever takes it.
No one ever plays them right now, really.
Yeah, it's a really good point. But, Uther Stun, crowd control. Jungler. This is a term applied to certain heroes. Most of the roles in the game, your tanks, your DPS, support, and healers, I don't know. The majority of heroes in this game are going to be in lane or killing creeps and getting experience that way. A jungler, however, they want to stay out of the lane in what is usually referred to as the jungle in other MOBAs. In Heroes of the Storm, I feel like the jungle is a lot more ambiguous, especially on the smaller maps.
But we do have people like Asmodan and mostly Gazlo, who might, when you're first getting in the game, say something like, I'm jungle, which means leave them alone, is really what they're trying to get out of this. That if you see them taking a merc camp, they are not expecting you to help them, and they don't want you to help them because you should be elsewhere getting XP.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of their job to get mercs, and so that it frees up the rest of the team to do a normal laning phase.
And on that note, something like Roamer is someone saying that I am not this lane. This lane is not my responsibility. I'm going to be going from lane to lane, seeing if I can give you a gank.
And a gank would be a kill.
Right, you just need to keep turning the pages of this darn dictionary and be like, okay, see gank. All right,
see gank. Gank
surprising
means kill. Yes, usually of a surprised variant, one that a person does not see coming.
A kill.
Which sometimes means you need to nuke, which brings us to the term nuke, a specialized DPS role that unloads all of its damage at once rather than being a kind of a sustained presence. A lot of times these are spellcasters, are generally made of paper. Nova, beautiful example in Heroes of the Storm. It kind of does all her stuff at once, and then everything's on cooldown. You can see her, and she just needs to run. So she either needs to kill her target so that she doesn't get killed, or run away.
Right, these are popular characters, being assassins and pretty cool to play. So very rarely will anyone say we need a nuke, but this can happen in a draft phase. And someone like Jaina too, great abilities, but you can use them all in about 2 seconds and then be stuck auto-attacking, a pretty cruddy auto-attack at that.
Yeah. To answer Martin's question, what is a carry? Well, it's a role that tends to be weak in the early parts of the game, but scales upwards in power heavily towards the late games. It's named because once the last stretch of the game is entered, it's these roles that usually carry the team to victory. And the reason this doesn't really exist in Heroes of the Storm is because your entire team levels together. And in other MOBAs where it's independent hero leveling, usually the carry is the one that you're letting you're kind of feeding their XP so that they're the highest level and thus doing the most damage.
Right. Instead, you can have heroes that are more end game oriented, and this is probably past your 13-minute mark. Basically, anything above level 13, where talents can really affect how a hero moves. Someone like Hammer actually getting the ability to hover around, which is insane for anyone that played StarCraft, greatly changes how you're going to play with that hero. And some people, tend to play in an extremely reserved style until they can get that one perfect piece of the puzzle that fills them out. I'm like this on Jaina. I love her. She's so much fun, but I feel like I just can't contribute until I have that range on Blizzard.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Initiator is another type of hero. It's usually a tank type that specializes in starting fights. These characters are usually distinguished by possessing multiple forms of crowd control. So to break that, I play Uther very much like an initiator.
Yeah, well, anything with a stun that has the survivability for it really is. I mean, Diablo's an obvious one. Runs in, picks people up, relocates them, making himself the first target. Chen is an awesome initiator because he has a leap, a movement ability, and then he has, can split into his form, so he can actually survive the amount of damage that's being done to him while other people locate to best places.
Yeah. Stitch's hook is a great way to initiate a fight.
Right, you're calling the shots.
Exactly. Laning phase, this is, anywhere from the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game. 15 minutes is definitely stretching it for Heroes of the Storm, but in more traditional MOBAs, that is the case. It's named this because most of the players in the game will be staying in lane unless you are a jungler, which we talked about earlier. So you're just there kind of farming XP in Heroes of the Storm, and in other games you'll be farming gold as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. A lot of these can kind of, I feel like, be skipped for heroes. Let's talk about bait.
Yes.
It's exactly what it sounds like. If you're the bait, you're the player that's pretending to be vulnerable, and usually your buddies are kind of hanging in the bushes waiting to jump on whoever takes the bait.
Which is a surprising feat of acting to perform. Because even though everyone's in the bush just around the corner, you can't be auto-attacking lanes because that, kind of signifies how comfy you might be with the current situation. But instead, if you're, pretending to be more nubbish than you might be across that halfway point in the lane, just kind of doing your movements, your shots, making yourself really obvious, maybe even taking a shot from a tower or two, just to show how awful you are. Just that second before everyone dives off on whatever comes to get you. Really excellent baiter.
Yes, absolutely. Well, her damn passive is just so obnoxious.
Right, and someone like Nazebo, too, that can take sprint. Until level 13, everyone's kind of, thinking they got him. If you surprise Nazebo, he's dead.
Playing against Ben on his Nazebo with sprint. Just so infuriating.
It's hard to keep track of. You just don't expect it.
Ping. Most MOBAs and Heroes of the Storm provide a way that you can use your keyboard or some kind of shortcut to literally cause a ping on the minimap. You'll get a dot and some kind of sound that the whole team can see and hear. And in Heroes of the Storm especially, this is a wonderful way to indicate what you're doing without having to type. Because in Heroes of the Storm, you can hold down Alt to actually even get your little radial dial. You can say, on my way, or I need assistance, or defend here, etc. Really helpful. I love the ping system in Heroes.
Right, and it's gonna be what makes the game work when people are turning off all their chat in the coming patch.
Yeah, sorry, laughing at chat room. Good old Jared Lane Jones in there, making bait jokes.
Yep, everyone saw it.
Go away.
Who didn't? But we just let it go.
Go away, baiting. Idiocracy, everyone. Go see it. Push. This is a term that is, it's a lot of people will say push, and it's an order to push down a certain lane, usually to pressure in Heroes of the Storm, the towers and the fort that is there.
Right, and this is often just said with an exclamation point at the end, giving you very little instruction. So it's important to check who said it, check their lane. They're probably saying push that one, or whichever one is most obvious at the moment.
And also check the minimap for pings, because a lot of people may do that thing where they ping 5 times and then get locked out of pinging right after they say push, exclamation point, possibly in all
I don't know
caps.
anyone like that.
No, I certainly don't do it. Overextend. It's exactly kind of what it sounds like. If a player or a group of players get caught out of position after a good... Actually, this happens a lot after pushing. You clear a fort and you keep pushing, but everyone's hurt and low on mana, and the other team has just resurrected and now gets kills off on you. That's because you overextended.
Right, and if anyone's saying this at you, to you, or someone on your team, it's generally agreed upon that you're in the wrong. There really isn't a way to argue against it because, frankly, it's an obvious statement. You overextended. You went too far. You got yourself killed.
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, sorry.
Oops. Or like I do, saw red.
Oh, it happens to all of us, particularly if you're chained in games. You'll be playing, like on Diablo, man. You'll win a game as Diablo, you're God. You feel amazing. You get in the next game, you forgot you had all those amazing talents. You're dead.
Yep. You're level 3 and you can't do anything cool yet. Bam. Good God. Feeding. This is offensive vernacular that implies the player on the receiving is doing nothing but giving the enemy free kills. You will only ever see this term brought up by people who are getting angry in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was in a game the other day, Kyle. Heroes League, draft phase. Guy gets on, don't feed and we'll win. And I'm just like, thank you. What would we do without you, sir?
Right, it's about as useful when I say, ooh, look at their enemy team, we better not get behind. So yes, that's why we're playing the game here. You playing a shooter? You better remember to reload. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. So it's basically saying, if someone tells you don't feed, they're basically saying don't die. And it's like, well, thanks, buddy. You're
right,
really
when
helpful.
used correctly, you're basically accusing someone of cheating for the benefit of the other team. It's a horrible thing to be called a feeder.
Right. It implies that you're intentionally dying to benefit the opposing team.
Or to speed along the game or anything like that.
Yep. Chat room saying we should add juke to these definitions, which is more or less dodging, moving your character in such a way that you are avoiding skill shots. This is used a lot when talking about avoiding Stitch's hook. If you don't want to get hit by his hook, you kind of juke. You kind of serpentine or run diagonally or.
Right,
Yeah.
it's definitely a very impressive feat in professional esports, particularly in the games like League of Legends and Dota, when those trees are in the most bizarre patterns and there's really no direct paths. Here in Heroes, our trees are arranged in very exact ways that make it rather easy to tell which way you're going to go. So juking in Heroes is more about like going the direction you weren't planning to. If it's obvious that everyone's coming at you and you would run right back through the gate, run up, go through one of those trees, and all the skill shots miss.
Yeah. Also, like, it makes me think, you mentioned Asthma Dunk. Like, if you're fighting an Asmodan, you're low health, don't stand right next to the fountain right after you escape.
Right, don't go click the fountain and then hearth out, leaving yourself in the most obvious place to get dunked in the... Yeah.
Right.
Well,
right.
actually, I like my Asmo Dunk, so do it on the other team, please.
Oh man. Anyway, so that'll more or less sum it up for the definitions this week. Either Kyle or I will actually post all these definitions on the ITN subreddit. Jocelyn did that for the definitions from last week's Angry Chicken, and a lot of people were really stoked that we put this up because these are like the questions you never ask because you just feel like a nerd.
Right, and it can be scary because it's automatically going to label you as a bad player, even if you've got the skills to back it up. So for all the pros out there who couldn't sit through that, welcome back. I apologize, but, you should be welcoming to our new brethren.
Indeed. And you should also welcome the wish list.
For ire!
The guilty will suffer.
Is there something amiss?
All the tribe, hasten my blade!
None survive. Must hunt you.
At least I have chicken.
Welcome to the wish list. This is where we take your suggestions on what you would like to see added to Heroes of the Storm, and they're usually really fun. And this is quickly becoming my favorite part of this show, Kyle. thank you for creating it.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to send in a suggestion for Wishlist, you can do so at itncast@gmail.com. Ours today comes to us from listener Azog, who writes, I would love to see Garrosh as a hero. Since Thrall is an assassin and Rhaegar is a support, he could be a warrior for Team Orc Master Race. Quick breakdown. I think his Q ability should be Thunderclap. Does a slow and minor damage, and I would assume in an area effect around him. It better be a circular AoE, just like it is in WoW. W, Sunder Armor, raises crit chance. Hell yeah, bring it. His E ability should be Colossus Smash, basically a big damage move. And he wants his passive trait to be Berserker Rage. Basically, the more he's hit, the more DPS he does. Sounding more and more like an assassin, sir, not a warrior. Just saying.
That's true. So here we would have a great opportunity for the warrior from World of Warcraft. And I feel like I would put him in a weird spot because of Siege of Orgrimmar and as a previous member of the Horde. But because of Hearthstone, he is the warrior at this point. And almost leaning towards that protection warrior, despite all the transformations and wacky things he did across the raid. So I would put his passive trait more along the lines of maybe he actually gains health the more he's hit. So it'd be someone you really want to boost down so that a bunch of little hits didn't build up some sort of resistance that he has.
That could be cool. I like D-Day in the chat room suggesting Mortal Strike. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, and that's something to define on him. And Mortal Strike, reducing heals, is that too complex of a tooltip? Perhaps for Heroes of the Storm, but I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, kind of glazed over that real quick. For those of you who don't play WoW, Mortal Strike reduces the healing done to the target that is afflicted by it. Which I can't imagine that. You could do a baseline, like reduces healing by 10%. Because we have that.
Right.
We have damage reduction abilities. Why not have a healing reduction ability?
Yeah. And as long as it's a clear symbol over them, a broken piece of armor or whatever, kind of like Tyranda's does, I think it would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see why not. It's the loudest motorcycle ever going past my house right now.
We'd have to find something else for Thunderclap because that's currently on Muradin.
Oh, you're right, it is.
Yeah.
It shows how much Muradin I play. Which is to say none.
It's a great ability. I play so much Muradin just because, Diablo's been a bit out in Hero League. Once that update comes, I'm waiting for him. But I would love to see some more classics like Revenge. Taking a certain amount of damage and dealing it back. Rend. You got to have something like Execute, though, to just blow a whole bunch of rage.
Yeah, absolutely. Azog brought up his ultimates. He'd love to see an Intimidating Shout, which is a big AoE silence, although at the moment I can't see how that would differentiate him from Malfurion.
True. If he was actually the protection warrior, he could have something along the lines of Taunt, which makes everyone around him attack him for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Although Garrosh doesn't seem like a protection warrior.
No, he does. But then
he is not selfless at all.
But because of Hearthstone, I think we've got that in our heads.
I think you have that in your head. But
would you really, in the past, give Garrosh plus armor as an ability? No, he's a two-handed warrior.
No, but that's because in Hearthstone, it is more important what defines a warrior than what defines a Garrosh. In Heroes of the Storm, it is more important what defines that specific hero in the lore of the game that they're from than the class that they are.
Fair enough.
And also, they've talked about having other heroes for sale or whatever as your avatar in Hearthstone.
All right, well let's run with that. So, can one of his ults be he turns into the big corrupt version?
Shah Garrosh?
Yeah.
Has to be. Has to be one of his.
Throwing down Hellscream, leaving big old pools growing. Takes you on a tour of all the maps.
Although if he gets a big growing pool area and they don't give Arthas Defile, I will riot. That will cause a Garrett riot.
Yeah, Defile though is definitely a caster ability.
That's the one on Arthas so bad.
There's the part where Garrosh ults and it randomly switches you between several maps that you have to play on. Teleport to Blackheart's Bay for a few seconds, then off to Garden of Terror.
Yeah, well, you could Diablo could get that too if we're using Diablo 3's Diablo.
That's true.
Torture
Shadow
round.
World.
Yeah, fight yourself.
Well, I've wanted to do that for a while. I think that'd be a really cool ability, particularly if you use the Necromancer that was in, not Stratholme. What's the other one with an S around that level?
Oh, Scholomance.
Thank you, Scholomance, the boss there that shoots you into a room with a couple of undead.
Yeah.
It's like a Zagara banish, but you don't get to come out until you've defeated the couple skeletons sitting in there.
That'd be really cool, although you'd have to adjust it for every hero so that, like, when you do it to a Lili, that it doesn't take them the entire length of the game to escape.
Fair enough. It would be a bit specific. Luckily, they were always kind of nice to priests in raids and made most of the abilities, not resistant to holy damage.
Yeah, that's
otherwise. I remember healing a priest and having to deal with those shadows chasing me back in Serpent Shrine Lair. That was impossible.
Yeah. Azog also brought up cleave as a possible ultimate ability, like a big, massive cleave damage area. I would like to tweak this and make it more like a boss ability from World of Warcraft, where the less heroes that are in the cleave, the more damage is done to the targets that are in it. So, like, that way you're not punished if there's no one but one target in your cleave.
So you've got, like, off tanks rushing in to do some damage?
Wouldn't it be cool if there was an ability like that?
I like the chat's idea here, Flatline saying a fear mechanic, a shout that makes people run away.
That'd be really sweet, yeah. We don't have a fear.
We don't, but we don't have Gul'dan yet, which is, if there's one dude with it, it'd be Gul'dan.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting. I wouldn't have been surprised if Sylvanas got something to that effect.
Yeah,
she is the Banshee Queen, like some kind of scream that disorients targets.
MOBAs have to have stuns, but I'm happy they're avoiding things that actually make you lose control of your character because they're just not fun.
No, they're not.
And if you had a fear mechanic, it would have to be line based so that they wouldn't run in a random direction because that's just it's too weird. It's awkward.
Yeah, because I mean, that'd be so awful. Because what if you randomly run into the opposing team?
Right.
and then on the receiving end, if you're the one doing the fear, what if they randomly run away from you and you just save their life and you're just like,
Right. Is it an escape mechanic? Well, 75% of the time it is, but every once in a while they come booking towards you.
75% of the time, it works every time.
Exactly.
This excites me. I want a Garrosh. No, I want a Garrosh. Not as bad as I want a Sylvanas, but yeah. I definitely want to hear the emotes between Garrosh and Sylvanas.
They've gotten along so well.
Yeah. It's the first time I ever heard the word bitch uttered in World of Warcraft.
Was that when she was, figuring out how to get it on with her undead folk?
Yeah, I don't know. The undead starting area, which after Cataclysm became one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in World of Warcraft, and Garrosh shows up and she shows him how the shards of Frostmourne work, and
it was so sad because she's like, look, everyone, I'm so happy. We can finally make more undead. He's like, this is disgusting.
This is an abomination.
This is her pet project, man. You should encourage it. Well, he's not a very good father figure.
Yeah, and in his defense, I can see not trusting the undead.
Yeah.
After the events of...
Given the previous expansion.
Yeah, given the events of the Wrathgate, it's a little... they can't be trusted. But
if we don't have a charge ability, though, where we hear the noise... we're not doing a warrior hero correctly.
The what noise?
That noise. I can't make it. I'm not a computer. But, the charge noise. The
whoosh. The whoosh noise when they charge.
The whoosh.
Okay. Yes. I know of what you speak.
Or an intervene.
Intervene would be good. Again, more of a protection thing.
Yeah.
Or have someone like Bolvar. Bolvar would make sense. Or even, now, Varian is, again, he's not really protection.
No.
He's dual wields. So, I don't know. There's no reason you couldn't have two orcs that are assassins. We have two space marines that are.
Oh, so you want to take him to an assassin land?
I think Garrosh makes more sense as an assassin. Personally.
Fair enough.
High damage, he's wearing like leather pants and no shirt. This dude's not, he's not absorbing any shots.
Yeah, well, those are nice shoulder pads, though. I'm sure they can take a hit.
Yeah, it's really a good thing when you take the trophy of your father and wear it like it's your own.
Right, I do that with my dad's bowling trophies.
you tape them to your shoulders?
Yep. Tier set. Actually, probably not too different.
Awesome. Absolutely delightful. Well, Azog, thank you so much for suggesting Garage Hellscream. Hopefully we will see him in the future. Now, let's round out this episode with some emails.
Darkness stopped calling.
Hold on. Darkness just texted me.
Okay, tell him I'm not here.
I wish Darkness would text me.
Yeah, they should have some sort of system for that. You can sign up for a little text once a week from Blizzard.
It's like that like item we got from the Lich King pre-launch event in World of Warcraft, where it's just random, like the ghost just sometimes whispers to you.
Yeah, they're like anti-motivation texts. All shall fall. It's thanks, Blizzard.
You can
Your
send
friends betray you.
You can send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Our email today comes to us from Nick, and he says, so I used to listen to StarCast, and I loved Garrett and Kyle's combo, but I stopped listening more than a year ago. Well, now I'm playing Heroes of the Storm, and I was looking for a podcast. I saw Into the Nexus by Garrett Weinzierl, and I say, hell yes, I love Garrett. And I listen to Under One Roof, and I hear Kyle's voice, and I say, oh my God, yes, I love Kyle. This is the best day ever. Kyle, thank you so much for including this email in this week's show.
I couldn't not. Welcome back, Nick. It's a pleasure for you to be here, and I'm so happy you are.
This is one of the few days, everyone, that I did not pre-read the emails. So I'm so happy this is in here. There is no question. There is literally no follow-up to this whatsoever, other than
Nope.
I'm glad you're that excited about something that we do.
Me too.
Thank you, Nick.
And welcome to all the new people that may have found out about us because the community podcast thing. And, well, the past two episodes have been a bit focused on us podcasting a long time together. So just go back. Just go back a few episodes and then rejoin us here.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
Exactly. Our other email this week comes from Spaz Wesson, who writes, good day, Garrett and Kyle. I don't know why I'm reading it like that. I shouldn't. It's really bad.
He said good day. It's his fault.
Yeah.
Actually, that wasn't bad.
Anyway, he says, I was playing Heroes, and while the map was loading, I saw that each map's load screen has a few heroes on it. I was thinking, would the teams on the load screen be viable on those maps? So the Sky Temple team would be Brightwing, Lost Vikings, Thrall, Jaina, and Stitches. You can see his feet and a hook on the side of the screen. Yeah, I think it's not bad. That's you've got plenty of damage. You've got a decent warrior, and you've got a healer, which on Sky Temple, Brightwing's great because she can jump all around the map and go where the temples are activating. And I think that's
Thrall and Jaina together make me a little frightened. I'd like a Tassadar in there somewhere instead of a Lost Vikings, but I don't think they're trying to make a statement here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got Jaina, which is range, Thrall, which is melee, Lost Vikings, which are kind of a big mix. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Tassadar. I would like a Zagara in place of Lost Vikings.
Yeah.
And then he also brought up Haunted Mines, which apparently is Nova, Diablo, Tyrael, Arthas, and Kerrigan. Which
This team,
pretty bad.
yeah.
That's pretty god-awful.
Not the best.
Yeah, that's, no, thank you. I don't want that Haunted Mines team. I will totally take that Sky Temple team. This is hysterical. Thank you, Spats Wesson.
Let's get that Tyrael in there. Support Tyrael. All those sweet talents that give you, 3 seconds of shield to your teammates? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna save some lives today.
Support Tyrael. He says, justice will support you. Sounds like a lawyer ad.
I like the idea in the chat here that these are the instant win teams. And if you can actually draft them, you win automatically.
Oh, it's like a cheat code.
Right, so everyone, they've already got Nova and Diablo. We got to pick one of these three, otherwise they automatically win.
It's the no cow level,
Exactly.
Speaking of which, we should get a cow level as a battleground.
Oh, spawning a bunch of cows? Just make it Tomb of the Cow Queen. Replace all the... Or give us a bovine hero.
It'll be like Goldshire. The whole battleground could look like Goldshire, but there's a bunch of farms and wheat and cows.
Oh, you know what? We don't really need a cow-based hero.
We have ETC already, by the way.
Yes, make the Hogger Make Hogger, make him spawn Knowles, give him a cow skin.
Why Hogger?
Well, because I can't really think of anything else that would be just kind of beastie with a big two-hander
Yeah,
and spawning a bunch of little guys.
Except for the cow that we already have in the game.
Which cow?
ETC!
Oh, yeah, he is a cow, isn't he? Oh, he's a Tauren. But yeah.
Getting on me for forgetting Muradin as Thunderclap. You're forgetting an entire hero.
Well, I don't play ETC because he's dumb.
He's not dumb. He's top tier, and you should totally learn how to play him.
I said he's dumb looking. I didn't say he was a dumb hero.
His master skin's pretty dope.
Yeah, I do like the metal.
I really do like his master skin.
I'm not prepared to work for 10 levels just to look okay.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. Again, big thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN. Thank you for supporting the show. Please leave us a review in the iTunes store, everyone. Into the Nexus is produced by amove.tv and Declan H., our Patreon producer. You can see more about this and all of the other shows that we do over at amove.tv. Our email, once again, is itncast@gmail.com. You can go to the subreddit, itncast.reddit.com. Don't forget to go over right now and enter for a chance to win a Heroes of the Storm beta key. Catch us live every Thursday night right here on twitch.tv/amovetv at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The mobile live stream is provided by alphageekradio.com. You can follow us on Twitter at ITNcast and check out briangriffithmusic.com for Brian Griffith, the guy who made our intro music. His work is quite awesome. Go check him out. Kyle, where can folks find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Kyle Ferguson. I've just returned from vacation, so I will be getting back to that shortly. And because of vacation, I don't really have anything else to pimp. So you know what? Let's just bring it back around. Go vote for ITN. tinyurl.voteitn. Go ahead and, why not? Why not pimp this? Let's do it.
Yeah,
vote for ITN.
tinyurl.com/voteitn.
Yes. Well, you've used the internet before, right? You don't need me to tell you to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Please go vote for us, folks. It would mean the world to us. I'm already stoked to be nominated, but why not go for the win, damn it? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, man, it's just a pleasure to be nominated. No, I want to win. I want to crush our opponents.
Right. This is the internet here. We're not kissing babies or anything like that.
Even though I like some of these other shows.
They're great shows.
But I want to crush them under my feet. Just like when I see friends that I know on the other team in Hero League. It doesn't matter. I want to beat them more because I know who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's do it. Follow me on Twitter at GarrettArt. Check out nomoonart.com for more graphic design work. And catch me every Monday on the Angry Chicken Podcast. Go check out our sponsors, doghouse-systems.com. The code to use ITN will actually get you a free 120 gigabyte solid state hard drive free upgrade on top of the, I believe, 1 terabyte standard hard drive that you get. And it also directly supports Into the Nexus in the process, so go check it out. Tweakedaudio.com as well, same code, ITN. They make amazing earbuds and headphones. Go check them out. Use the code ITN to get 30% off, plus free shipping off of your entire order of earbuds from tweakedaudio.com. That'll do it for this week's show. We will see you next week for episode 43. But until then, good luck and have fun.
Take care.